with PDEA Spokesperson Attorney Joseph Calulut, now joining us via Zoom. Welcome to Morning Matters, Attorney.
Hi, good morning, Gretch. Good morning to the viewers of Morning Matters.
Okay, 60 billion pesos worth of drugs seized under the Marcos administration. Can you give us the context behind this number? What were the major operations that led to this seizure?
Well, these were consolidated reports coming from different law enforcement agencies and together with PDEA. And these were operations that were conducted beginning July 1, 2022 up to April 30 of this year. So we conducted around
Attorney, you're coming in a little bit choppy.
107,000
All right, there you go.
Am I clear right now? Yeah.
Ayan, medyo mas okay na po. Oo.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, hello?
Okay. So with that, the 107,000 anti-drug operator. Can you hear me?
A little bit choppy pa rin. But go ahead. We can try.
Yeah. How about this? Is it clear enough?
Yes, better.
Okay. So the 107,000 anti-drug operations resulted to the arrest of around 145,000 drug personalities. And if you remember, there were several anti-drug operations that were conducted during this period. Most recently was the one at Norsagaray, Bulacan, that resulted to the arrest of 3 individuals and confiscation of around 30 kilograms of suspected shabu.
I wanted to get the more insight on this. No, is this a higher number? I mean, as compared to the Duterte administration, how do we view these numbers? Mas marami po ba tayo nahuhuli ngayon?
If you're going to compare the number of operations with that of the previous administration, there were more operations conducted before for the same period. However, if we are going to look at the dismantled clandestine laboratories, there are also more clandestine drug laboratories that were dismantled before, covering the same period, but with regard to the volume or the value of dangerous drugs confiscated, mas marami po ngayon as compared to the previous administration. For the same period, we confiscated around 60 billion pesos worth of dangerous drugs. If you're going to compare that with the previous administration, that's around 32 billion pesos only.
What led to the changes, to that significant increase in confiscations?
There's the number of volume of confiscated dangerous drugs. Like, for example, for shabu, for the same period, for today, we confiscated around 7,700 kilograms of shabu. You compare that with the previous administration, that's only around 4,100 kilograms of suspected shabu. Same is true also with ecstasy. We have a lot of confiscated ecstasy pills that's amounting to 136,000 pieces of ecstasy. You compare that with the previous administration, that's around 24,000 confiscated ecstasy pills.
Medyo malaki-laki po yung difference, no? Dahil po ba yan sa mas maraming nakakapasok na droga ngayon?
Hindi naman po sa mas marami nakakapasok, but we concentrated more on the high impact operations. We also concentrated more on going after the big time drug syndicates. So looking at the numbers, kaya kung mas marami yung mga nakuha nating suspected shabu, at the same time we also intensified our activity illegal drug operations in our airports. So that's why we were able to confiscate more ecstasy pills compared to the previous administration.
Airports, paano po nakakalusot sa airport yun? Saan po
They
dinadaan?
they tried to bring it in through mail and parcel.
Yung ano po, yung baga baggage, no?
Yeah,
Oo.
packages, mail, parcels. These are some ways wherein they try to smuggle in these dangerous drugs.
But you also mentioned a while ago that there were 1,400 drug dens dismantled in 4 clandestine laboratories. Are there drug hotspots in the country that you're seeing here? Or is there a trend kung saan po nakakapuslit ito? Saan po madalas dinadala? Saan niyo po nahahanap yung mga laboratory na yan?
With regard to laboratories, these are all within the nearby NCR. You see. NCR, and recently, meron ho tayo dun sa may malapit sa NCR, that's in Rizal.
Sa mga bahay po ba ito?
Yes, yes. They try to conceal this in exclusive subdivisions para hindi sana matuntun ng mga operatiba, because when we try to get in exclusive subdivisions, we know that there are strict security policies.
Okay. Attorney, I wanted to get your thoughts on the, I guess, the thing that is being said against the Marcos administration that ngayon talamak daw ang droga ever since umupo na si PBBM, nawala si President Duterte, ngayon umiikot na ulit, nawawala na yung takot nitong mga drug pusher na ito, ng mga big-time drug syndicates. Tama po ba yun? What are your thoughts on that and with the numbers that you're seeing?
Well, we do not think that talamak ang droga. We just try to intensify the operations, and we would like to take note that we also heightened the drug demand reduction activities also of the agency. So ibig sabihin nun yan, marami rin nun tayong mga lectures na ginagawa sa mga barangay. We also went to communities to remind the members of the communities about the ill effects of dangerous drugs. Ngayon, yung sinasabi nilang talamak dahil marami na raw, we would like to debunk that. Marami lang kasi mga confiscations so ngayon as compared to the previous administration.
How about the numbers of drug war deaths? I mean, there was a Human Rights Watch report in 2023 that said that these deaths continue even under the Marcos administration. And even a researcher from the University of the Philippines, Joel Ariate, observed that one Filipino is getting killed each day in the ongoing drug war. Is this true?
No. We would like to debunk that. Because if you look at the numbers, the deaths as compared to the previous administration significantly dropped. It's around 95%. So hindi totoo yung sinasabi nila na every day there's one death regarding anti-drug operations. We do not have any reports about one death every day.
Dahil ang criticism po ay even if the president has said that extermination is never a part of his drug war, he has not held officials accountable. Those who, or rather no legal action was taken against officials of the previous administration despite new evidence of abuses. What would you have to say to that?
Well, the law enforcement agencies would act on it as long as we have reports or they are reported deaths na sinabi o sinumbong sa atin. That's time that we will act up on it. Since wala naman na kami natatanggap, wala ko tayong maaaring aksyonan.
Okay, and then what happens now to the confiscations of the 60 billion pesos worth of drugs? Saan po ito dinadala pagkatapos ma-confiscate?
We are waiting for court orders for them to be destroyed. Actually, tomorrow we will be having our destruction of dangerous drugs. So there are several media outfits who would be invited to witness in destruction ng dangerous drugs. So I do not yet have the exact figures, but that's around 1 ton or more of dangerous drugs to be destroyed tomorrow.
Give us a picture of how difficult it is to stop the flow of drugs in the country. I mean, if people can get smuggled in and out, nakakaalis po, no? Via ports, via the south, meron po mga daanan doon. Pagdating naman po sa droga, gaano kahirap sugpuin o tapusin yung pagdaloy ng droga dito sa Pilipinas?
We have a very vast coastline, so napakahirap po bantayan yan. Kung makikita naman natin sa mapa, napapaligiran po tayo ng katubigan, ng karagatan. And we are always partnering with our Coast Guard, our Philippine Navy, our maritime group, for us to conduct security measures within that coastline. Aside from that, we also have the mail and parcels. They try to smuggle dangerous drugs through our airports also, through luggages.
But most of the time, this
partnership.
is coming from which country, if it comes from the outside?
When we talk about shabu, this is coming from the Golden Triangle. So that's Burma. We have also Thailand, Myanmar, Laos. So dun sa area na yun.
All right. The Marcos administration, as mentioned, has signaled a shift towards a more human rights-based approach, kind of drug war. How are we moving it concretely into that?
Yes, we established regional public assistance desks. So members of the communities, especially those who are involved into illegal drugs, yung mga users so natin, they can go to the nearest PDEA regional office to get assistance. Anong ginagawa po natin dyan? We assist these individuals to file petitions in court for them to undergo rehabilitation. That is one of the steps conducted by the Marcos administration to help when it comes to humane approach and to also assist the users for them to undergo rehabilitation.
Do we have enough rehabilitation centers now?
Yes, we have enough rehabilitation centers in the country. In fact, yung sa Nueva Ecija, hindi pa fully occupied yan eh. So we have a lot of rehabilitation centers, and not all of these individuals need to undergo intensified rehabilitation because some can just undergo counseling. So meron ho tayong mga outpatient users.
Okay. You mentioned a while ago that the difference here with the approach is that you are going for more big-time drug syndicates. Meron din po ba kayong nakikitang mga parang pattern or katulad nung previous administration, meron silang mga matrices, ano? Kayo rin po ba ay may ganun? At saan po or sino-sino po ang parte nun?
Yes, we have a matrix. We have matrices. That's why the several operations being conducted right now, magkakakonek po yung iba dyan because of our intelligence operations. With regard to the persons involved, we cannot divulge it right now since we are still conducting follow-up operations for the other operations that we held the past months.
Maiilan lang po bang major supplier sa Pilipinas? Or talagang marami ito?
We cannot divulge that right now, but there are some. There are also some foreign individuals involved.
Could this also be linked to POGOs? The POGO operations in the past?
We are looking into that since there are several Chinese individuals involved, so we are also trying to look into that matter.
How about the recent kidnappings? Is that also linked to the drug war and to these syndicates?
With regard to kidnappings, we do not see any connection between PDEA operations and kidnapping. So probably that might be related to some POGO traders.
And in the recent elections, meron po bang link to some people in power? O may nakikita po ba kayong ganon na anggulo?
For now, none. However, there are some, let us say, Mayor-elect Kerwin Espinosa, who publicly declared that he was once involved in dangerous drugs. So we all know that he won during the last elections. But we would just like to remind every individual that Republic Act 9165, or the law, the comprehensive dangerous drugs, applies to all. So regardless if you're an elected official or not.
And how do you enforce the strict hand of the law without breaking the limits? The former president always said na yun lang yung paraan na nakikita niya para matakot itong mga drug pusher na ito. Paano natin sinisiguro na ganun pa rin ang pamamalakad sa ngayon while still being humane?
Well, as the president said, we should respect human rights. And one of these is the strict implementation or strict use of the body-worn camera, especially during the implementation of searches. This would ensure that the operation is legitimate, the evidence that were confiscated or seized, the integrity would be secured. So this is one of the measures being implemented by the agency.
Okay, we hope that we do get down to the bottom of those links in terms of the drug war. Sana malaman din po namin sa media, no, when you do have those successful operations. In the meantime, maraming salamat po for giving us more details into that. We have PDEA Spokesperson Attorney Joseph Calulut.
Thank you, guys. Morning.